Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky, and I'm here with HD. We are going to be bringing you a 2 versus 2 show match. It is brought to you by Tagalicious, brought to you, well, by the same people who made iRip. Definitely go check them out. We're going to have a link. What?
Yeah, no, yeah, it is brought by the same people who did iRip. Just wanted to
Okay, I was
mention
gonna say, I thought you were like, my computer's on fire. Anyways, yes, Tagalicious, go check it out. They make tons of awesome programs over at that company. We're gonna have a link down below. So if you want to introduce the players here, HD, we can get this bad boy started.
Yeah, right before I introduce the players, I do want to say go to the link on the bottom and check that link out. You can actually get a pretty cool program like Husky said, Tagalicious. It definitely helps you out sorting out your iTunes software. Same developer as iRip. Anyways, the players here are going to be Jinro from Team Liquid, and his teammate gonna be none other than the little one from Team Liquid. So it is going to be the Team Liquid clan spawning on the bottom of Metalopolis, and their opponents on the other side of the map gonna be Artosis and QXZ.
I actually don't know too much about QXC. I am very familiar with the other three players, though. Artosis, a very strong Zerg player who in StarCraft 1 played Terran for like a trillion years. I think he played it since basically the game came out. And everyone loves the little one. Who doesn't love the little one? And Jinro is from Team Liquid, also known as Frozen Arbiter. He's been playing fairly well, and they are a Terran team right now.
One thing I do want to mention is QXC is naturally a Terran player, but we actually spoke with him regarding this show match, and he said that he's good friends with Artosis. They play a lot of 2v2s, and they actually play, when they play 2v2s, Artosis picks Zerg, his standard race, but QXC picks Protoss, and so we're gonna have to assume that they have some strategies cooked up. They probably have some kind of synergy working with them, and I really am looking forward to this 2v2 show match series because both the teams have a lot of synergy within each other. Team Liquid on one hand, and Artosis and QXC on the other.
I'm really interested to see how Artosis plays, because we actually were talking to Artosis a little bit when we were setting up this show match, and he said he's not very comfortable in 2v2. It's really outside of his comfort zone, because there's so much different strategies and depths to 2v2, and really there's no competitive 2v2 scenes. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Artosis. I think that the little one is going to be inside his comfort zone, because really he has no comfort zone.
Right now, we actually have some Raxes going up for the little one as well as Jinro, and they also have some fast gas on the way, both with Tech Labs already, and it looks like we're going to see a Reaper coming out for the little one as well as a Reaper for Jinro, so most likely they might try to split their Reapers up, or they might try to go for a single target. Do you think these Reapers are going to do any damage, Husky?
It depends who they attack. If they go for QXC right now, I don't think it will, because one Stalker can eat up an infinite amount of Reapers. Now, on the other hand, Artosis, they can do a lot of damage to him. It's going to come down to how he can control this Queen, and also since he's on one base, he has 6 Zerglings on the ramp as well. He should be fine, because by the time the Reapers get over there, he's going to have more than ample defense.
That's right, and especially the Queen is able to deal with Reapers really, really well, and as long as the Zerglings stay on the creep, they're actually pretty fast, even without the speed upgrade. And on top of that, Artosis didn't go for a fast expand. No one would actually do that in a 2v2. It's actually kind of suicidal. And so I think Artosis is just going to be fine. The little one coming in here with his initial Reaper, which is going to open this other Reaper's back door to able to get up into the base, and it does have one drone kill. Is it going to get a second one? No, it does not. I think it does have 2 kills, currently at 2 kills on that Reaper, and so that guy's gonna fall away, not really doing as much damage as they could have.
Yeah, he did get 2 drones there, and that's pretty much the only casualties from that attack. Now, when you're doing a double Reaper build, it's really going to slow down your Marauders and your Marine count, so they needed to do more than that, and it didn't quite happen there. So that was just good control from Artosis. I mean, in a normal game, you only have to deal with 1 Reaper. In 2v2, he did have to deal with 2, and that last Reaper just got taken out there outside QXC's base. So I would really give the advantage here to QXC and Artosis, simply because those Reapers didn't do all that much.
Yeah, on Artosis and QXC, the nice thing is if you come off of a Reaper build and you don't do too much damage, you still have that Tech Lab technology. Reaper's only 50-50, and the important thing is they only invested in 1 Reaper each. They didn't try to go for like 3 or 4 Reapers. And so they are kind of transitioning right now into a Marauder build. But one thing to mention is they are both Terran, and of course since they're both Terran, they don't have the option of applying much early game pressure. On the other hand, QXC and Artosis looks like they're moving out with a very large army of Stalkers, as well as Speedlings, and Artosis has a Baneling's Nest, so we might be seeing some kind of dual combined Baneling bust, and it looks like they're going to go for Jinro.
This is actually really good play from both players because Baneling busts are very good against Terran if they mess up their wall in. So it's good for Artosis to go ahead and try this. Now it's also good Jinro and the Liquid One have a very strong wall. Look how many layers of buildings they have to get through to actually break through that. The Banelings aren't as good against those larger buildings, and usually you want to try and just kill supply depots with them. That's what they're best against. So we'll see if this is going to be enough. I don't know if that's enough Banelings, though.
Enough Banelings to perhaps kill the supply depot, but then Jinro has a couple of bunkers. Like you said, another layer of depth of buildings right behind that. And as soon as Artosis saw that, he said, oh, screw that. We're getting out of here. We're not going to try to waste more Banelings on that building as well. And look at those two bunkers currently filled to the max with Marauders as well. And it looks like Jinro now interested in throwing up an expansion inside his base, so he's probably going to lift that off pretty soon. Also has a starport on the way. And I think the nice thing for QXC and the and Artosis right now, excuse me, is that they have control of the center of the map. They are able to fast expand, and there's not much that the Terran players can do about this.
Speaking of expanding outwardly, it does look like Artosis is taking his expansion right now, and basically Terran versus Terran, it's just like in StarCraft 1, you don't get that early map control. So if QXC and Artosis don't take advantage of the early game map control, there's just going to be a huge blob of Terran units once they finally combine forces that they're going to have to deal with. So I think at this point in the game, it may go to a more macro stage because QXC and Artosis realize they can't end the game early, so they're going to have to try and catch up because the Terran ball, when it moves out, it is very, very difficult to deal with, especially when there's two Terran.
You know what else is really interesting to note is if you look at the income tab, Artosis, out of all people, you'd think Artosis would be the macro king this game. He's actually really low on his harvester count, so you can tell that he's really out of his zone, out of his comfort zone, playing 2 versus 2. He's only got 19 harvesters, and I think the reason for that is because he's really invested in these Zerglings and Banelings and hasn't been able to do all that much damage with them. Look how many Zerglings he's got on the field right now. Over 42 Zerglings, and so he's going to have to start saturating if he wants to be able to get drones on his natural expansion.
Yeah, mentioning those Zerglings, like, seriously, he's continuing to produce Zerglings. I'm not sure what he expects to do with these, because you got to remember, they're both Terran players. They're both walled in extremely well, so you would think that he's just going to be macroing drones as this game continues. He must have lost an Overlord, because he is now supply block, and he's making overlords. He's not making drones. I'm not sure what his plan is here. Maybe got to make a bunch of Banelings and try and do another bust, but I just don't really see that working.
We actually have a Viking from the Little One moving out across QXC's base. It did snipe out another Overlord, so that was the reason for Artosis actually getting undersupply. Eventually, QXC was able to take out that Viking with his Stalkers, and right now it looks like Jinro is going to pump out a Raven, which is nice. I like the strategy of getting a Raven early on. The Raven has so many possible utilities to add to an army, from point defense drone to auto turret to the Seeker Missile, lots of different options. And look at this, Husky, we actually have a dropship loaded with 4 Marauders. We might possibly see some kind of a drop action right above the neighbor to QXC.
Yeah, we do want to keep an eye on that dropship. It is very good that he is using that dropship against the Protoss. You can actually try and snipe a tech building. Now, it's all going to come down to the positioning of the Stalkers. The Stalkers do have Blink, plus right now they're in a pretty good position to defend that. So this drop is going to come down right now. What he needs to do is not go for the probes, because Marauders kill probes very slowly. He needs to try and get either a Templar Archives or some other tech building.
I think, yeah, he does have stim as well. If he can stim on that Templar Archives and take it out, look, it's researching Psionic Storm right now, and he is focusing the Archives, but no, the Stalkers blink in there and demolish the Marauders, only 2 getting out of there, and the dropship barely making it out of there with his behind alive. So the dropship's going to return home crippled and nearly dead, and so Jinro, they're not making too great use of that attack, and meanwhile, the Little One still hasn't expanded. He does have a command center coming up, but he is the last one to get his expansion. Jinro, on the other hand, he did fast expand